So today I have Cody. We're going to go down the road. We've been practicing his sidle up, which he's doing really well. So now I'm on the big mounting block. I'm just going to practice it once before we go out. Well, what do you know? He's right here. So we're going to give him a little treat, and then we're going to try it again, and then we're going to go. So very smart horse, maybe. And he's doing really well. We went down the road. I hand walked him down there because I needed some exercise yesterday. Good boy. So he's right here. And he did really well with the goats and all that stuff. Sometimes I need exercise, so I pick one of them to walk. I changed bridles on this horse. He had a very pretty bridle, but what I noticed was the buckle was right next to his eye. And if you have a horse that's spooking or anything, he was still quite good, but that's blocking their vision. And sometimes your horse isn't seeing everything, and that's why they're spooky. So if you have a spooky horse, it just reminded me to tell people, check where the buckle on your bridle is and make sure there is nothing that could possibly be blocking that horse's vision. So I didn't have it on, but Charlie's over there and he's kind of spooky. So he just scared him, and I wish I had it on, but all he did was just jump in place, and then he saw it was Charlie and he's like, oh, it's that fruitcake. And he was totally fine. Leaving the driveway. You know, each horse is different. They'll test different people. So even though I can ride them out, you know, you never know until you ride them out, unless I tell you it's a true beginner horse. So he did fine, but I think he needs someone just to push him a little bit. I'm carrying a stick just in case. They always know when you have a stick and you mean business. So if you're having problems with your horse, just have a stick for backup in case you need help, especially if your legs aren't strong. So same as I said with Icelandic, going downhill, he's got shoes in the front, barefoot in the, I think he's barefoot in the back. I have to look. I have too many horses I can't remember, but he's being very sure-footed going down the hill. I have a light contact on him, just enough to keep his head down, so we make sure he's paying attention. And he's not looking around a lot, but I am correcting him if he's trying to look around. So there's goats on the right. And again, this horse did not care about the goats when I hand walked him down here. So if you're unsure when you get your new horse, the best thing to do is, you know, do the groundwork, get control of it, make sure you can handle it, and then walk it around on the trails and your stuff, and make sure it's okay with all those things before you actually start getting on its back. It's different if they have videos of it, but if you're not confident or they didn't have videos of it, then get control on the ground, then hand walk it. You're much safer because you're not going to fall off of it. You might trip and fall down, but that's it. Okay, so I'm just pushing him a little bit. Again, if I don't push at all, he goes very slow, and it's good to work some energy off in case things do fly up, that you don't have all that energy inside and make your horse explosive. So he's doing great. I think he's also a follower type horse, so he's probably just completely fine in groups, which the followers usually are. But going alone, he just needs someone to take control and push him some. I'm not pushing hard, but I am making him move out some. We are passing goats. I know you can never see him that well with this thing, but he's fine. So again, you might not see it, but underneath that tree is the goat. We saw him yesterday, so I'll stick that video in. Now that I'm walking away, and I turned the video off, he touched them. And he was fine with them, and he was very good with traffic yesterday. So if I'm lucky, I'll get across the street and through the gate, but see if cars are coming. They might not be. Come on, keep going. We barely made it. So that was good. I don't know if you've seen an electric fence before. Yeah, so we're just going to keep going. We got this incline to practice his gait. So yesterday we did not come over here, so he hasn't seen this stuff. sometimes they will look at the garbage can and the tractor and stuff. So nothing bad, but I am pushing him a little bit here because he's looking. I'm like, just come on, pay attention. You don't have time to look at that stuff with me. We got places to go, stuff to do. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down for a minute. So it's not like he's being bad or doing anything. I'm just trying to keep him focused and get rid of some of his energy because I never know what's going to be over here. And so sometimes there's trucks, ATVs, motorcycles, all sorts of stuff. So best to get rid of some of the energy so they're not holding it in and going to use it later if they get scared. So if I didn't push him, this is how he would prefer to walk, which is just fine. But don't do that when you have a new horse or in the beginning of your trail ride. If you're having any issues or you're trying to establish you're the leader, make sure you come out forward like you saw me do. Okay, now we're going by the farm stuff. You might not think this is much, but it's plastic. There's people up there moving around. There's tractors. There's all sorts of stuff. And it's above them. Horses don't like things above them. So see, he tried to look and I was like, no, you got stuff to do. Let's walk a little faster and get your attention back over here. If you have to pass things, it's much better if you're higher than the object. So bikes are going by, you got those yellow things, and there's people in the flowers, picking the flowers. So again, that could spook them. If not, we'll see. But anytime you got to pass stuff, if you can be higher than the object, be higher than the object. When you're lower than it, the horse knows the thing can jump on them. And a lot of horses get more antsy or will want to rear up because they're very upset. But if you put them above, like a bike's passing by or a car, and you can be on a hill, they're usually much more comfortable. So he's doing fine with all this weird stuff. I think he's a very nice horse. So I desensitized him with tons of stuff. Some's on the video, some's not. But, you know, I ran around, the water bottle, the noodle, flags, spikes, bells. Today I did an air horn, which was quite fun. Okay, today I'm torturing the horses with an air horn. So that's Cody in there, and see if he freaks out. Oh, it hurts your ears. Nope, didn't freak him out. And if you got mountain lions around or dogs that attack you, get your horse used to an air horn. Take that with you. Or in case you fall, keep it on you so people can hear where you are. There's all these fun things you can do, but you got to get your horses used to it first. So I did that to prepare him and to help him, so when we see stuff out on trail, he'll have a clue what it is. But I still got to ride him out here, and I still got to get him used to this stuff under saddle and being by himself. So when you desensitize your horse, it is helpful, but it's not all of what you have to do, okay? The rest is you do have to get on and ride them. Somebody does, and get them past that stuff, get the trail mileage on them so they're used to the things, so they're not worried. He's looking off to the right a little bit. That's where the ponies are, so I'm just kind of squeezing my left rein and a little left leg. So I'm doing the opposite to get him straight. Then there's a flag, but who cares? He's fine with flags. So, but see how nice that is? Because I know he's fine with flags, so I'm not worried about that at all. So I just got to keep his attention on me. But you do have to ride by those things, and if you're not confident, it's best to pay a trainer or someone who rides well who's not crazy, not someone who's going to gallop the horse around on trail, because that's going to do the opposite, and that's still going to scare you even if it goes by the stuff. You want someone who knows how you ride, who's going to get the horse by the stuff, put some good mileage on it, have them do it for a couple weeks, a couple months, or a couple years, whatever you want, and then you get on a ride with them and have them coach you through it. It's much easier. And then once you can do it well with them, then you can start doing it on your own, or leading, and you know they're behind you. So it all helps, but if you're lacking confidence, the only way to get your confidence back is you got to do it. And sometimes you got to see first that your horse is okay with it with someone else, and then they have to help you to get through it, okay? Nothing's perfect. Even the best horses will test us, because it's all about that herd dynamic, like who's the leader, you or me. So, and what I'll do is I'm going to talk a little bit more about riding if my battery doesn't run out. So I'm going to turn you off, and then at the end, if you want to fast forward to it, I'll talk about why I like to ride in single file. We're going uphill. This is quite smooth. Oh, there's a car coming. Hi. Hi, puppy. So he was very good. Eric's got a nice gait. Doing great. We're going to go over speed bump in a minute. We'll see if we hit that. But he is getting really good with his feet. That was good. And he's doing fine out here. He doesn't seem to have any worry. He's not getting antsy. He's not speeding up. The only thing he would like to try to do is just go a little bit slower. So, very nice. So we'll be lucky. You know, it's best if you come ride them or send me a video of you riding. If you have a decent idea, or if you have a trainer, you'll probably be fine. So that's him on a looser rein. Very smooth. So a car is coming up behind us. Maybe it's going in the driveway because it sounds like it's getting slower. That's probably a horse person. Only horse and animal people slow down. Everybody else seems to speed up. So he got a little worried right here, and this is what he did. He raised his head up slightly because I didn't have the video on. Maybe he'll do it here because there's some pivoted things going around. He raised his head slightly. I heard him take a little deeper breath through his nose, so almost like a snort, and then he started to go just a tiny bit sideways, and this is what I did. I tightened my fist up to get his head back down. There's chickens on our left behind the bushes. So I got his head back down, I pushed him over with my left leg, and I opened my right rein up to help him to go back over there, and he said, "Oh, you got me, I'm fine." And that's all he did. So again, when I said that you need somebody who's going to help him, you need somebody who's aware. This whole entire time he has had no problem until then. But I have to be for him then. Like, okay, I'm here, I got you, don't worry about it. And we're coming up on the alpacas, so we'll see how he does with that. All right, so I don't know if he sees them, they're in the shade, so I'm going to come right up on it. So you sit back, hands wide, and you're ready in case they spook, because he might not see that's a living animal, because they sit like statues. So he could spook. So I'm letting him look. I got to shorten my reins up slowly, and I'm just sitting relaxed. So that thing has to move for me to feel he's okay. Good job. So now I'm like, oh, he's not doing anything. He's just looking at it. So now I'm like, why don't you have a cookie while you look at him? Let's make that an alpaca a good thing. So hopefully you see the alpacas right there. Okay. So I don't know if he's ever seen an alpaca in his life. Many horses haven't. Good job. So I didn't rest the entire time until we got here. I wanted to rest with the alpacas. So we make that a good thing. But he's not worried. He's just standing here staring at him. So that just goes to show you, he has a good temperament. He's just got to get used to the California stuff. And he's probably going to be just fine. We're going to turn and go back. Now the alpacas will be behind us, so if they jump or anything, we'll see if he jumps. No. Good to go. So we got tarps and some weird stuff. I also have my kitty litter scooper on him, which you might have heard just bang into my spur. I always forget what those things are called. But so again, he's doing fine with all this stuff. None of this is spooking him. So he's not barn sour, he's not speeding up. He actually slowed down because I let him. So again, on the way home, I let them go much slower. I do the reverse of what they want to do. They want to come out slow, go home fast usually. So we come out fast, work off their energy, and that way they'll go home slow. Okay? So there's a reason we do these things. And it works out pretty well. So try it if you haven't tried it and you're having problems with your horse. So what I'm going to talk about is how you're riding with your friends. So when I ride with people, especially when I have a new horse, I make everybody go in single file. Lots of times people want to go next to you. That's fine if you know the horses know each other. But when we don't, I'm trying to figure out what that horse is, and I'm trying to establish that I'm the leader and nobody else is with them. And when horses are in a herd, and the herd is two, one's in front, one's in back, You won't really see them walking exactly next to each other unless they're like somewhere safe, like in a pasture. So one's always going to protect the front of the herd and one's always going to protect the back. So when you're trying to get a new horse used to things, it is more comfortable if you make it more like the herd. So have one horse in the front, have one horse in the back. Now, if you're having problems, then the horse in the front might not be a good leader. You could always stick it in the back for a while, get it warmed up, get it used to what your guys are doing, and then put it up in the front a little bit. Push it into some nervous energy, so make it lead for a little bit, even if it's like 10 feet, then put it in the back again. So everything's in steps. If it's really scared, you just do 5 to 10 steps, it goes in the back again. So it slowly is getting used to leading. And you just repeat it over and over again. But that's more natural for the horse to have one in the front, one in the back. What happens is a lot of people get new horses and you want to talk to each other. The horses are new, you haven't done groundwork, you didn't round pen them, you just took them out on trail because that's what most people do. Oh, we gotta stop and pick this up. Okay, so I had to pick up some manure. Now I'm gonna get back on. Okay, so again, remember, face away from home. He's backing up a little bit, that's okay. And I'm not sure if he's used to people getting on and off on the trail, so some horses aren't good at it because nobody gets off. Okay, so now if you have the horses next to each other, there's no leader, okay, except you guys. And that's fine once the horses know what they're doing, but in the beginning they're not comfortable like that. So your horse is going to be better, less spooky usually if you have one in front and one behind. And then you just got to see, where's the horse comfortable? If it's a follower, it would rather be behind. If it's a lead horse, it would rather be in front. Put it in its comfort spot first. Ride with it like that for a couple months if you can. Otherwise, a couple weeks if you can't. And then start switching positions up. So you're not always in the lead and you're not always in the back. And then start becoming a better rider. So the horse trusts you and you become its leader. Once you can ride in the front and the back and you're good, you can start riding next to each other. Okay, but do it on a trail that you've ridden before so the horses know what to expect out there. But when you're riding right next to each other, neither horse is the leader, neither horse is the follower. They're both probably going to act up if they get scared. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about the herd dynamics when you're riding in groups. So when you ride in groups, especially the bigger they get, the more antsy the horses can get, because not all the horses are going to be calm. Some are going to be antsy and some are not going to be antsy. Some are going to be calm. But horses feed off of each other. So if one spooks, they can all spook. Okay? And if one rears up, they can all rear up. If one bucks, they can all start getting in a bucking fit. Okay? It's a weird phenomenon, but that's what they do. You'll see it in a lot of TikTok videos because people think it's funny when they're getting bucked off. And you'll see one horse act up, and that's the one who starts bucking, and that person rides it out, and the person's fine, and then the horse in front of it or behind it starts bucking, and then that person falls off. Why am I telling you this? You gotta know who you're riding with, what kind of control they have, and what horse they have. If you're not a good rider, and there's somebody who has a horse acting up, get away from them in the group. Ask to move way up in the front or way up in the back, so you're at least 2 horses away from it. But if you're 1 horse away from it, your horse is most likely going to feed into that negative energy, and even if your horse was good, you might have a problem. So you got to know who's riding with you, know their horses and how they act, and if you got a new horse or a nervous horse, you don't ride by them. Okay? Now there's caution tape right next to me. I don't know if you see that. Whatever. But he didn't care. And then there's caution tape just sitting over here. So he's going very slow, he's calm, he's doing good. So again, you can have a horse like this that you're like, he's perfect. He's doing great, no problems. You get in a group and you got horses that are acting up, and then your horse gets cuckoo, and then you call the person who sold it to you and you're like, this horse is nuts. The horse isn't nuts, the horse isn't bad. It's the people you're riding with that's setting the horse off. So you got to ride calmer horses and calmer people. Or you got to ride alone in the beginning. Now the caution tape just flew up behind us and he didn't spook or do it. He didn't even act like he noticed it. Many of these problems you have with your horses are the horses are ill prepared, they're not trained well, you're not riding it, you're just being a passenger up there, and you don't know much about prey and predators or herd dynamics, so you're doing all the wrong things. Okay? It's amazing that they're a prey animal and they let us on their back. They carry us for many hours. Some complain, but most of them don't. They just do it. And we teach them to pick us up at the mounting block. We teach them to jump over 6 feet. And we make them go on endurance rides over, you know, that like Tevis, 100 miles. And they do that stuff for us. So we're going by the ponies. See, he didn't even yell to it. So do something for your horse. Again, the better you ride, the more you know, the better the horses are going to do. Some people are just very lucky and they get by knowing nothing until they don't get by and something happens, and it might be 40 years down the road and they have a major problem, and then they're like, oh, now I get it. And then they're petrified. But they got 40 free years. Okay? But it's best if you learn how horses behave, learn how to deal with things, and then, you know, get your skills up, keep your balance up, keep exercising, stay strong. You know, if you're not good getting on the mounting block, practice walking up and down the stairs. There's a pony walking over there. Practice walking up and down the stairs, practice doing squats. We all get weaker as we get older. The only way to get it back is to use it. Remember, use it or lose it. So start exercising, doing squats, going up and down the stairs. You know, if you need pain medication, take it before you ride so you're not in pain when you're riding. And try to get yourself in as best shape as you can, as strong as you can, and best balanced as you can. It's all harder as we get older. So you're only going to help yourself by trying to get yourself back in shape now. And things hurt if you use it or if you don't use it, so you might as well use it. Moving your joints is much better because they don't get as stiff. That's why when you sit on the horse for 6 hours and get off and you're like, oh, because you weren't using your legs. That's normal. But you can take them out and stretch them and stuff. So we got a speed bump. He did fine. He paid attention. Apply the caution tape again. I guess that's it for now. But you see him. He's nice and relaxed. He trusts me. He's like, she'll take care of me. I'm fine. Cody's totally trained in the arena now, so he bends, he makes patterns, circles, leg yields, side passes, backs up, does turn on the forehand, turn on the haunches. He can do all that stuff if you know how. And now he saddles up to the mounting block. He opens gates, so all that stuff is good. Anybody who's looking for a nice Rocky, he's not overpriced for what he is. You know, there's so many Rockies that are overpriced and not even as good as him, so he's not overpriced. He's a good horse. He's very sweet. And he's still available. Somebody put him on hold, but then when I talked to him, I thought it was the wrong fit. And so they went with another horse of mine that I had. So he's still available if you're looking, but don't wait too much longer. It's a little hard, so I got to get right up on it. Good job, Cody. Yeah, did very well. Because a lot of horses in the beginning, whoops, he just smacked his head on that. He didn't care. Won't go right up to it. It's hard because it's low, but at least he's short, which helped. And then it's a hook and eye to get it back in, so it makes it very hard when you're practicing gaits with them. So see, I just banged it, he jumped. My reins were short, so he didn't go anywhere. Let's see if we can get over here in the right angle. So this is why all your turns and stuff help you, because then you can maneuver your horse to get over to the gate. Otherwise I couldn't have gotten that hooked. Good boy. So he did very good. He was very patient. Didn't get antsy, didn't start dancing in place like some of them do. And you see his head's very low. He's very relaxed. Car's coming. These cars come at like 50 to 80 miles per hour down this road. Alright, so I'll go back to the herd stuff a little bit. So it's not normal for horses to be alone. They usually travel in groups because it's safer, just like the deer, elk, and all those things travel in groups. A lot of prey animals travel in groups because it's safer. So when you're riding them alone, again, they have to feel safe with you. So that's why the groundwork and all that stuff helps you to establish that. So they know that they can trust you, that you're not going to hurt them and all of that. And they can seek comfort in you. But if you don't, then they just usually seek comfort in those other horses that you're going out with. So they're great in groups. And then when you try to go out alone, they're like, nope, nope, no way, not with you. You don't know what you're doing. Don't trust you. You're probably going to get us lost. And you won't know how to get me back. And you're not going to save me if a mountain lion comes out or something I'm scared of. So knowing that, again, they're lead horses and follower horses. The lead horses are going to be the braver ones, but they're very difficult to ride in groups. They don't want to be in the back. So you got to teach them. And the follower horses you have to push. And I always think that's easier because I know most people don't ride alone. Most of the time they usually ride in groups. So you just got to practice everything with your horse, make that relationship and show them you're okay to be with and that they can trust you. But just think when you're at work and stuff, and or even in school, when you're in school and you guys are doing something as a team, and say chemistry, because chemistry was really hard and stuff, people were blowing stuff up all the time. So you might work with someone who knows what they're doing. They're like, I got this, I'll show you what we're doing. And you're like, oh, thank God I'm going to get an A just because this person will help me. And they show you what to do and you go, wow, I actually understand it now. Versus you're with people who have no idea. They're not paying any attention to what's going on. And then the teacher sticks you together and you're like, do you know what you're doing? No. Do you know what you're doing? No. And then what happens next in chemistry? Let's just put this stuff together, because that's what you do. And then your stuff would blow up, and then it would blow up someone else's stuff. And then you're like walking over to the lead person and you're like, hey, can you show us what to do? Because that person knows what they're doing. So that's what the horse is looking for. We got more manure to pick up, is someone to help them so they know what to do, and so they know what to trust, and then in time they'll be able to do it with other people. Okay? But if you don't show them you know what you're doing and you don't learn what to do ahead of time, then they don't trust you, and they're right not to trust you. Okay? So again, if you have a follower horse and you can't get them out, that's usually what the problem is. So this guy did great. I want some exercise. Right? And it's hard to exercise when you got to work all day. So I'm going to walk the rest of the way because we're almost home.